Good morning, Monday, 8th of June, 9 o'clock in the morning. Today's just a short update really about the Goshiki fry. They're doing really well, really happy with them. Touch wood, everything's going really well. They're growing well, they're healthy. And it's hard to believe that really exactly a week ago today, I showed a little bit of video. I'm not sure if you ever went on YouTube, but we had a little bit of video of one of the fry hatching and breaking free from the eggs. And now, as you'll see in a moment, we literally have tens and tens of thousands of them swimming around the tank. So absolutely chuffed to bits with that, really am, after the disappointment of the Goshiki fry over the previous few weeks. These are eating just brine shrimp now. That's all they get fed, and it's a pretty much constant feed of brine shrimp, I have to say. I'm feeding at least twice during the night, getting up and drying off some brine shrimp. But the process is really simple now. We've got running for the brine shrimp with the 3 hatcheries, and what I'm going to do is just show you how simply we draw those off, prepare them for feeding to the fry, and then in a little while you see the fry munching away at them. So we're going to do that. Okay, so you've seen the hatcheries that we made, the larger hatcheries we progressed onto. These are basically running every sort of 3 running at a time anyway. So the one here on the left hand side has just been started this morning. The one here in the centre was started yesterday morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, and the one on the right hand side was started yesterday at 5 o'clock in the evening. So this is the one we're harvesting right now. This will continue to be harvested through the course of the day until we get to sort of 3-4 o'clock this afternoon, which time we'll move on to the next one along, which will then take me through the evening and through my night feeds as well. Anyway, so at the moment it's running, lid on just to keep the condensation in, stop it evaporating. So take that off. So this is the airline that's causing the bubbles. So first of all we take that out. Now quite often when they talk about, you see videos of harvesting brine shrimp, they put a light at the bottom. At this stage, when it's a relatively new jar, I don't bother with that, because as you'll see in a moment, I get so much out without encouraging them to go down to the bottom. Let's move that wire out of the way. Wires and airlines everywhere at the moment. Anyway, so I just leave it a few moments just for it to settle. Any eggs that were floating around in the flow of the water, I'll let those rise to the surface, and then the brine shrimp naturally drop down to the bottom. So I've mentioned before that I love that the JBL ones have the little valve at the bottom that makes it really easy to draw off. Unfortunately, the way these were quickly put together, I didn't have time to buy valves and taps, etc. to put in the bottom. So we just have, this is basically exactly what Grant Kane showed me on a video he sent me. So I've just literally copied what he does, to be honest. So I've got a weighted tube here, which just drops into the tank. So obviously the bottle at the bottom, the neck of the bottle's down there in a slope into a point at the bottom. So then I have this end of the tube here, and into that I'll just, so here I have a simple syringe which fits nicely, although not with one hand. There we go. Right, fits nicely into the airline tube. Now, on the floor, I have one of the old JBL hatcheries, which I still use at this process, for this process. So, first of all I need to do is pull the sucker out, plunger out on the at the bottom of the airline, and in the tube you can now see we're sucking up a nice stream of brine shrimp. So if I then just pop this hose down into the jar, take off the syringe, and it's naturally started the siphon process to draw off a load of brine shrimp. Now this is really thick concentrate at this time, so I don't pull a whole. So I've got 4.5 litres in the jar, and the theory was that I would do 9 feeds and draw half a litre at a time. I don't actually do that. For now, I've pulled off probably 200, 300 millilitres, 200 millilitres only probably, but I've got a really thick batch of brine shrimp. So to start, all I do, raise the airliner, and there we go. Pop that out of the jar, pop my airline back in, cover it over. Sorry if this is all a bit wobbly, I'm juggling too many things in 2 hands. There we go. And there we go, back running again. Now, our brine shrimp, as you can see, we've got a lovely thick orange liquid in here now, and the orange is obviously the brine shrimp. So ordinarily what you would do at this stage, if you let it all separate out, but this is so clean here, and by clean I mean there's not many, almost no eggs at all have come out. So all I now do is I'll strain this out. So I'm back to the original JBL strainer that I use, which happens to fit nicely into the top of this 500 milliliter jug. I need to put the camera somewhere to show you this. Find a shelf somewhere. Right, drop it into the water. Okay, it's not going to work. Anyway, so all I do is hold this over the top of here. Or maybe I can do this with one hand, in fact. Yeah. So this is the beauty of the valve at the bottom. So now, all I do, drain this liquid off. So I'm draining off the salt water, obviously, which just leaves me the strainer now with my brine shrimp in it. Okay, I say this is just basically cribbed from what Grant Kane showed me. It seemed to make a lot of sense, hence I decided to do it myself. So, see, with a nice sieve full of brine shrimp, just put that into the water, rinse that out. And then, so I have my 2 litres of water with a whole load of brine shrimp swimming around in it, which just gets distributed here along this into the water. And in no time at all, you'll start to see the baby fry swarming. Literally, you can see them coming together like a pack as they home in on the baby brine shrimp that have been added. Anyway, so that's the brine shrimp adding process. So now once we see what happened now, the brine shrimp naturally seem to come to the surface, and the baby fry follow them. So I shall now set about collecting some footage to show you of the baby fry. Now this here is one tiny corner of the net, and this scene is very much replicated around much of the net. And you see how many babies there are as you move along. There's many tens of thousands without question in the tank at the moment. But thankfully they all seem to be doing extremely well. And they're growing at an equal size as well, at an equal rate. This is the other far corner, you see it. So these have just all risen up to the surface now, as I mentioned. So the brine shrimp must be pushing over there in the flow into that corner. So as I'm sure you've seen and can appreciate, there's a fair number of fry in there at the moment. Just want to mention something that I've mentioned previously on videos and promised was coming. Oh, I've got them the wrong way around in my hand. Hanna Checkers meters. I said I was going to do a review of them. It was published yesterday on Nishigoi.life, and I'll put a link up here where you can go and find the full review. If you don't want to read the full review and just want a quick opinion, I rate them highly. I'm really happy with the performance I'm getting from them. And if you're frustrated with drop test kits and manual test kits and the results you're getting and interpreting those results, then I really do suggest have a look at these Hanna Checkers. Well worth the money. They're not as cheap to do individual tests as a drop test kit, but you get what you pay for. There's a reason why the reagents from Hanna are more expensive than perhaps a test kit by Tetra or API or whoever else. And I suspect it's in the production of and preparation of those test reagents. So let's say pop along to Nishigoi.life at the link I've put up, and you'll be able to find the full review where I discuss in more detail my hands-on experiences with them. But for now, just going to spend the day, continue to feed the fry.